Eric Patrick Clapton was born on March 30th, 1945 in Ripley, Surrey, England. His childhood was not simple. He grew up believing his grandparents were his parents and that his real mother was his sister. This discovery at age 9 shook him deeply and left him feeling unwanted. To cope, young Eric turned to music. He picked up a cheap guitar at the age of 13 and began practicing endlessly. His early influences were blues legends like Robert Johnson, Muddy Waters, and B.B. King. Clapton quickly became obsessed with learning their style. While many kids his age were outside playing, Eric locked himself in his room mastering the guitar. His pain, loneliness, and confusion fueled his passion for music. He didn't know it yet, but these emotions would later make his guitar playing so soulful that people around the world could feel it. Music was not just a hobby for Clapton, it became his lifeline, a way to express the feelings he couldn't put into words. By his teenage years, Clapton had built a reputation in his town as a promising guitarist. He joined local bands, playing at pubs and small events. While most British kids were into pop and rock, Clapton's heart belonged to the blues. He was captivated by the emotional depth of blues music, where every note told a story. He would spend hours listening to imported records of American blues artists. At the Kingston College of Art, Clapton's obsession with music grew, but his studies suffered. Eventually, he was expelled for focusing too much on his guitar. But this was a blessing in disguise. Music was calling him full-time. Clapton's unique style, mixing raw blues with fiery solos, started to catch attention. By the early 1960s, he was already being noticed by bands who wanted a guitarist with his kind of passion. Soon he was about to step into the London music scene, where his life would completely change. In 1963, Clapton joined Ned the Yardbirds, a rising British band. The group played energetic rock mixed with rhythm and blues, and Clapton's guitar quickly became the highlight of their shows. Fans were mesmerized by his ability to bend strings and pour emotion into every solo. During this time, Clapton gained the nickname Slow Hand because of his smooth, controlled playing. However, Clapton's purest love for blues clashed with the Yardbirds' move toward commercial pop success. When the band recorded the hit single For Your Love, Clapton felt they had betrayed the true blues spirit. In 1965, he made a bold decision. He quit the band at the height of their success. For Clapton, music wasn't about fame or money, it was about honesty. His departure shocked many, but it set the stage for his next, more authentic journey. Clapton's commitment to the blues would lead him to even greater opportunities. After leaving the Yardbirds, Clapton joined John Mayall, the Bluesbreakers, a band dedicated to authentic blues. Here, Clapton truly found his place. His fiery guitar solos electrified audiences and earned him massive respect. In fact, his playing on the 1966 album Bluesbreakers with Eric Clapton became legendary. It showcased his ability to blend American blues with British rock in a way no one had done before. Fans began spray painting the words "Clapton is God" on walls around London, a sign of the almost spiritual admiration people had for him. Despite the success, Clapton didn't stay long. His restless spirit pushed him to form something new, something that could take his sound even further. With this mindset, Clapton was about to create one of the most powerful rock bands of the era. In 1966, Clapton teamed up with drummer Ginger Baker and bassist Jack Bruce to form Cream, one of the first ever supergroups. Together they combined jazz improvisation, heavy blues, and psychedelic rock. Songs like Sunshine of Your Love and White Room became instant classics. Clapton's guitar playing reached new heights. His long solos during live shows left fans in awe. Cream sold millions of records and toured the world, becoming one of the most influential bands of the 1960s. However, behind the success, tensions grew. Baker and Bruce constantly fought, and Clapton struggled with the band's chaotic atmosphere. After just 2 years, Cream broke up in 1968. Though short-lived, their impact was massive. Clapton had become a global rock star, but he also felt lost. He had fame, but he still longed for deeper meaning in his music. After Cream ended, Clapton formed another supergroup, Blind Faith, with Steve Winwood, Ginger Baker, and Rick Gretsch. The band had all the talent in the world, and fans had sky-high expectations. Their first concert in Hyde Park drew over 100,000 people. Their self-titled album featured the hit Can't Find My Way Home, showcasing Clapton's emotional depth. But Blind Faith lasted only 1 year. Clapton grew uncomfortable with the spotlight and struggled with the band's direction. He wanted simplicity and authenticity, not endless pressure to produce hits. After Blind Faith, Clapton explored other projects, even playing as a sideman for other artists. During this time, he also fell into struggles with alcohol and drugs. The years ahead would bring both some of his greatest music and his darkest personal battles. In 1970, Clapton formed Derek and the Dominoes, hoping to escape the pressure of fame. The band released Layla and Other Assorted Love Songs, an album that would later be seen as a masterpiece. The song Layla, inspired by Clapton's forbidden love for Pattie Boyd, the wife of his close friend George Harrison, became one of the most powerful love songs in rock history. Clapton's raw passion and pain poured through his guitar. Despite the brilliance, the band fell apart quickly due to drug abuse and personal conflicts. Clapton himself spiraled deeper into heroin addiction. He withdrew from public life, vanishing from the stage for nearly 3 years. At his lowest, Clapton was battling his inner demons, unsure if he would ever return to music again. The early 1970s were a dark time for Clapton. Addiction nearly destroyed him. Friends like Pete Townsend of The Who staged interventions to help him. In 1973, Clapton finally returned to the stage at the Rainbow Theatre in London in what became known as the Rainbow Concert. Slowly, he rebuilt his career. By 1974, Clapton released 461 Ocean Boulevard, featuring his relaxed version of Bob Marley's I Shot the Sheriff. The song became a huge hit and helped introduce reggae to a wider audience. Clapton had survived his darkest days and was reinventing himself as a more mature, soulful artist. But his struggles with addiction and personal pain were far from over. Music continued to save him again and again. The 1980s and 1990s brought both triumph and tragedy. Clapton released successful albums, but his personal life was shaken by deep loss. In 1991, Clapton's 4-year-old son, Connor, tragically died after falling from a high-rise window in New York. The heartbreak was unbearable. To cope, Clapton wrote Tears in Heaven, a song filled with grief and love. It became one of his most famous works, touching millions around the world who had experienced loss. The song won multiple Grammy Awards and showed Clapton's ability to turn pain into beauty. Despite his tragedies, Clapton continued to perform and record, becoming a symbol of resilience. His music had matured into something deeper, less about fame, more about survival, love, and healing. Today, Eric Clapton is remembered not just as one of the greatest guitarists of all time, but as a survivor. He has faced personal pain, addiction, and tragedy, yet he always returned to music as his salvation. Clapton has won 18 Grammy Awards, been inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame 3 times, and influenced countless musicians across generations. His style, blending blues, rock, and pure emotion, remains unmatched. From Layla to Tears in Heaven, Clapton's music tells the story of a man who lived through both light and darkness. His journey proves that true greatness comes not only from talent, but from the courage to keep going even when life knocks you down. Clapton's guitar still speaks today, honest, soulful, and unforgettable.